A Shady Plot is written by American writer L.Z. Brown. One of the most interesting elements in the story is the Ouija board. A Ouija board, or a talking board, is used to communicate with spirits or ghosts. A Ouija board has the letters of the alphabet, numbers from 0 to 9, and various signs on it. Participants place their fingers on a small wooden pointer. It is believed that the spirits or ghosts move this pointer around the board, and participants can spell out the words to get their message. The Ouija board is the central element in this humorous ghost story. Here's a brief summary of the story A Shady Plot by L.Z. Brown. John Halleck is commissioned to write a ghost story for his friend Jenkins magazine. In the past, Halleck could always come up with ideas for his ghost stories. This time, however, his mind is completely blank. As he is sitting at his desk, a voice speaks from the other end of the room. In the dark, Halleck sees something taking shape. A ghost named Helen introduces herself and says she belongs to the Writer's Inspiration Bureau. The ghosts from the Bureau inspire writers like Halleck and give them ideas for various stories. But now, the ghosts are on strike. They are fed up of being summoned by Ouija boards and having to answer silly questions. Helen wants Halleck to persuade his friends to stop using Ouija boards. Just then, Halleck's wife, Lavinia, appears with a Ouija board. He tries to convince her to get rid of the board, but she refuses. Later, Lavinia throws a Ouija board party for her friends. She coerces Halleck to pair up with her friend Laura Hinkle. Trouble brews when the ghost, Helen, spells out Traitor on the Ouija board and then names John Halleck. Laura asks who is giving the message. Helen gives her name. Laura informs Lavinia about this incident. Meanwhile, the ghosts play havoc, and every Ouija board in the room spells out Halleck's name. Lavinia misunderstands this incident and is upset with Halleck. The next day, Lavinia writes a note informing Halleck that she is leaving him. When Helen appears, Halleck blames her for his miseries. Lavinia comes to bid goodbye. Halleck tries to prevent her from seeing the ghost, Helen. Just then, their cook, Gladolia, informs them that she will be leaving because she does not like Ouija boards. Lavinia promptly decides to burn the Ouija board. Lavinia then sees the ghost. She is relieved. Lavinia had been jealous because she had thought the ghost Helen was the beautiful Helen of Troy. The ghost leaves because her purpose is achieved. The Ouija board is destroyed. All's well that ends well. Halleck and his wife are happy together, Helen and Gladolia are appeased, and Halleck has got an idea for his new ghost story. John Halleck, the narrator of the story, is a struggling writer who only gets offers to write for his friend's magazine. He works as an accountant to meet his household expenses. Halleck is dominated by his wife. For example, he does not approve of Ouija boards. Yet, at his wife's bidding, he attends the Ouija board party. Halleck cares for his wife. He tries to prevent her from seeing Helen's ghost because she is too sensitive. When she threatens to leave him, he is upset. Halleck's wife, Lavinia, enjoys shopping and gets swayed by every new trend. Her latest acquisition is a Ouija board. When her husband asks her to give it up, she refuses. Lavinia is suspicious when the ghost, Helen, spells out her husband's name. She assumes that the ghost is the Helen of Troy and decides to leave the house. She is satisfied only after she sees the ghost and realizes that the ghost is not the Helen of Troy. Helen is not the typical scary ghost. She is kind. She was a writer in her past life, and so she empathizes with other writers. She is a part of the Writers' Inspiration Bureau, which provides ideas to struggling writers. Helen is firm that she will not help Halleck until he persuades his friends to stop using Ouija boards. She accuses Halleck of being a traitor when he participates in the Ouija board party. Helen is also true to her word. After Halleck volunteers to destroy the Ouija board, she keeps her promise and helps him get an idea for his new ghost story. Laura Hinkle is Lavinia's book club friend. She behaves coyly with John Halleck during the Ouija board party. Once Halleck is accused of being a traitor by Helen's ghost, she promptly and loudly informs Lavinia about the same. She is thrilled at the trouble that is created between Halleck and Lavinia. A Shady Plot is a humorous ghost story written in the first person. The story presents ghosts in a lighter vein. The idea of ghosts founding a Writers' Inspiration Bureau, being assigned cases and filing reports is extremely amusing. Ghosts, as Helen says, prefer to do a little haunting when they have nothing to amuse themselves with. They do not like being called out of their beds to answer silly questions. Therefore, ghosts do not approve the use of the Ouija boards. The story suggests that indulging in activities like the Ouija board serve little purpose. At a deeper level, the story serves as a gentle reminder to steer clear of following fads for their novelty value. Halleck's wife, Lavinia, finds any new fad thrilling. Summoning spirits through the Ouija board has now taken her fancy. She refuses to listen to her husband's point of view and does not get rid of the board. However, when the cook threatens to leave because she does not like Ouija boards, Lavinia decides to use the board for kindling wood. The reader then wonders if this was a case of much ado about nothing. The writer's choice of words paints a vivid picture in the mind. For example, John describes Helen as a horrible scarecrow and Miss Hinkle as a flirtatious crocodile. The writer also uses a pun when Halleck tells his wife that the affair was quite above board.